older, traditional, rural, very religious, very conservative women, and just interview them and listen to them and talk to them. And it's not that they agreed with domestic abuse, it's that they thought their way of life was being changed. She adapted their language, ran the referendum again a few years ago, and it passed.
Damn, bitch!
Because she adopted the language.
That's what I'm talking about. Mad at you.
This is not so much of a huge change in how we live, but it's rather affirming our best values. And I think us finding ways to do that in a consistent way.
Don't you say that again.
But it's hard. Look, for most of human history,
Say that again.
Democracy,
you hear me?
Relatively recent vintage. That's a blip. You know?
I love you too.
Tribes.
Don't say stuff like that.
You know, nation state, race, sect. You know, that's typically been how we organize things. And it's always easy to say us versus them. That's the easy politics. What democracy demands is always a little bit more difficult.
It also feels like, you know, when you observe it, there are two elements that I often see is, on the one hand, storytelling, as you said. It's often easier to tell a story of blame.
Yes.
Why are things going wrong? It's because of that person. It's simple. There's the person. We solved it. Why are things going wrong? Well, there's a confluence of factors, and you have this, and you have the economy. You've got to understand the supply chain. That's not an answer for many people. And when you sell freedom, they go, I can't eat freedom.
Yes.
I can't buy a house with freedom. I can't, you know. And then the second part is what you're talking about. You know, the us versus the them. The who is and who isn't. Sometimes I think for many people it feels like the populists come in and just do, you know, whether it is in Brazil, you know, whether it's Bolsonaro, you know, whether it's in America with Trump, where they just got to do. And whether they do or don't actually do, it feels like they're going to do. But then some people go, but when we get the freedom people, they want to talk, they want to discuss, and it seems incremental and it seems like things won't change. Is there a way to combat that? Because it is a feeling a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, look. If you want to be a progressive, pluralist, tolerant Democrat, and I don't mean small d Democrat, I don't mean Democratic Party, you know, you can't be a wuss. I mean, you've got to have a story with some swag. You've got to be able to see the future and deliver. And also call out the fact that what those folks say they're going to do, they almost never do. Right? Because the truth of the matter is that when you look at experiments, those countries that have the ability to harness everyone, and everybody participates and there's consent, and people feel like, this is working for us, versus places that are failed states, you know, the track record of democracy is pretty good. But you know, we have to be forceful in making our argument. And what is true is that you know, we can't just talk.
Over the Rudy, go there! No way. God bless you, baby. I'm sorry.
When you think about what's over here, there's greater appeal of right-wing populism.
Whenever you start jogging back on defense, before the ball even goes through the net, that speaks for itself. Short jumper stays out.
The global economy has shifted away from
trailing by
urban centers, even in their own states.
It was right there.
So
and physicality is your friend. Don't let these guys get any easy ones down low. Make them look at the refs, wondering where the foul was every time.
Gee, Rudy! Rudy, I thought you was good, Rudy!
So
freedom up, they created so much space.
How are we doing on behalf of people whose lives, who used to
They're mad at us.
Made his first effort, but not that time.
Have dignity and work and
To Julius
stability and
Randle,
security
great
in
dish
those
to
lives,
set it
and
up.
now suddenly
Count the basket inside. They're going to have to
I and I'll take my foul, baby. Eat it like a Chicago cake and nothing break.
Take a timeout as they'll talk things over here in the first quarter.
Right now, you have China coming in heavy presence in a lot of these countries, providing a lot of foreign aid, a lot of strings attached, a lot of Chinese workers going on to build big buildings and etc. But if we're not there, if we're not helping build that road, if we're not there to...
They're mad at us.
Then naturally, people are going to start thinking, well, maybe that's
Rudy.
The difference between a winning team and a losing organization is the fact that there are finished plays.
It feels like capitalism is designed to extract as much wealth as possible from every single thing that it can.
I mentioned Sweden and some of the problems they're having with immigration. On the other hand, you look at Scandinavia, they're capitalist countries. But and those work.
It's really argue that their foundation is more socialist, and then they go with it's almost like they go we're socialist first, and then capitalism is our undercurrent.
Not really. If you go there, essentially people are taxed more and they have more common goods. But you're still going around at a job and get paid. You can't, it's not like you're going into the store just grabbing whatever you want. Walking out. See it. See it, friend. You gotta pay for it. Right? And then the guy at the cash register is checking, am I going to make a profit here today?
The reason I'm asking that is because, and maybe it's the word for failure sometimes. I often talk to my friends about this. It's interesting that we sort of stopped. We went, oh, there's socialism, there's this, there's the communism, there's capitalism. And then we just stopped. We're like, this is it, there's capitalism, and that's that. I sometimes wonder, is there not something better? Is there not something we could be doing? Maybe I should go, what is inclusive capitalism?
The reason I just use, let's say, Denmark as an example, is not because...
Oh, my God. He has the Lord Jesus in him. He's a shaker and a baker, baby. Oh, what you going for number 3? The man was amazing. Oh, boy, they done did it now. I've never seen anybody do a shaker and a baker. Yeah. I do not want to be behind come third. Okay, so shut the fuck up. Good little ducky. Get your ducks in a row. Get your ducks in a row. Oh! How you been? Let's just dropping this package off. Missile. They're mad at us.
And thinking about what's working. And this is going back to the information issues. This is part of why, to me, one of the biggest challenges to democracy is not just the mechanics of elections or the independent judiciary. Those things are all important.
Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels, baby. You know how it is.
Because what we've seen here in the United States and elsewhere is...
Come on, Baba. In the Baba. Come on, Baba. Come on, Baba.
The jumper's off the mark.
It's useful. And
Sometimes necessary.
Bang! They're mad at us.
Based on facts, then we can't get to better solutions. Right?
Put your fucking hands up. There we go.
And there's no reality check. We just make
told you I'd be leading by halftime, right? Even though it's by 1, it's down by 11. I'm up by 1.
And it doesn't, and it's impervious to facts. So part of what I think, why I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this disinformation issue is how do we, in how we teach our kids, in either industry standards or regulation of these social media platforms. How do we get back to the point where you can have opinions? We all do. But facts matter. and proof matters. And I'll ask you to debate and say, you know what, if we do things this way, it might work better, and you may disagree, but at least we agree to a set of rules whereby we can arrive at a better solution.
You know, it's possible to get to that place when almost half, let's just talk about the United States, almost half the country says, well, what are those rules and why are you even deciding that? Why are we having this conversation? You are not even, how do you, I honestly know, how do you get to that place with people?
The interesting thing
Mike,
is,
watch out, Mike.
even in those places that are just inundated with what I consider to be nonsense and lies and distortion.
Come here, Mike.
When
Michael!
in their own lives, they're still operating
Michael.
like that, right? On their jobs, when they're coaching their kids' little league or their soccer game or football game, they don't let the ref just kind of say, you know what, this time we're just going to get 5 points for the touchdown. It's like, wait. Folks on the sideline say, nope. It's 6 points for the touchdown and then get the extra point. So we abide by all kinds of facts in our own lives. It's just this national story that is being told where we allow lies to be told and we accept them mainly because it turns out that when we tell a story about the other side, it makes us feel better. It's like, you know, Trevor, he's a jackass. You should see. And you happen to be sitting here. And so we enjoy the performative aspects of making stuff up. And part of that is because we don't think there are consequences to it. Now, what we've learned from the election of my successor, from the pandemic, from the insurrection, is actually the stories we tell do matter. And having some baseline of sticking to the truth when you're telling stories about our country, about policy, but also about the other side, that matters. And I like to think that part of what happened to this election is people said, okay, you know what, some of this stuff's getting a little too crazy. It turns out that there is a majority of the country that does prefer normal, not crazy. And that's a basis for hope.
I could talk to you for hours about this. I know you don't have the time. It has been wonderful having you here, though. It's also been wonderful seeing, what you're getting up to. Because after I had the pleasure of interviewing you at the White House just before you left, and then afterwards I saw you kite surfing, and I loved it. I loved it, by the way. Great technique, but I often wonder, what is Mr. President going to do next? Where does he go? And you started producing shows about issues around the world, and now you've got this forum. I wondered if maybe you have any tips for me, as because you and I, we're basically the same. We're basically the same.
I think you're going to have to really focus on relearning things, like driving.
Got to shave.
Pressing your own elevator buttons. When was the last time you were at the dry cleaners?
I was on 53rd Street. I go. I take it myself. Yeah. We're very. You don't you're very That's like I said. You Mr. President forever. You have Secret Service forever. That's correct, right?
I do, and it. I still am in a bubble. I thought I could escape it. Quick story from New York. I used to say, oh, you know what? When I get out of here, I'm gonna just be able to walk through Central Park, and it's gonna, and I'll just put on a baseball cap, and it's gonna be fine. And Michelle's all like, yeah, okay. Good luck with that. And the first time I tried it, I got half a block. And then suddenly there was this swarm and there's phones and traffic stopping, and it didn't work. I guess what I would say, though, is that you will be missed here. But
Venom. What a bite.
But we were talking backstage. You're already following one piece of advice that I would have is leave when your poll numbers are high. That's how they'll remember you. So
I'm actually I'm excited. I'm gonna go on the road.
Yes.
I mean I've said this to you before.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Georgia when you're doing the speech, you're a very funny guy.
So you want me to open for you?
But some shows in Chicago, it doesn't. You know what? Not even open. I wouldn't dare. We could you can't open for me. You're still Mr. President.
Just banter.
We just do like
just banter.
The
cool
headlining tour. You know what I mean? We'll call it half and half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? President Barack Obama.
Yeah, that was funny, huh, Mikey? Dude, who just texted?
Well, starting off this
Fuck you, faggot.
strong, in at number 10, let's talk about the 1954 meteorite that fell from space and it actually hit someone. This right here is Anne Elizabeth.
Bang! It hit him right in the head!
She became
Woo!
a part of history when she survived being struck by a fragment of a meteorite.
Fragment of a meteorite. Holy hell. Damn, I'm gorgeous. Lotus go
A meteorite is the first documented
up and down, in and out.
object to have injured a human being. So let me tell you guys what happened.
Ring around the car, she took
the roof of a
party, up and down and down and
it bounced off a large wooden console radio, and then it hit Hodges while she was napping on the couch. Imagine like that's how you woke up. You woke up and being hit by a piece of meteorite that came from outer space. This made headline news, and I was looking into what happened to that meteorite because maybe that woman can sell it to become super rich. I'm not exactly sure how much they sell for, but probably a lot, right? But this meteorite was actually confiscated by the police, who turned it over to the United States Air Force. So yeah, this woman lucked out. I don't know why she wasn't able to keep it.
In event spot, we have the alien. And guys, here's just your little friendly reminder to hit that thumbs up button. In 2017, a man in Cusco made a pretty terrifying discovery in the southern desert of Peru. The artifact he found looks exactly like a tiny mummified alien head. An X-ray concluded that the skull had very alien-type features. The skull had angled eyelids, shallow eye sockets, 2 nostrils, and a narrow slit-type mouth. Now, whoever was in possession of the skull actually covered it in a type of clay. So that's what you see on the top of it, which makes it appear to look more like an alien. Researchers discovered that it is indeed a real skull, but they don't know what it belonged to. So it may just be that this skull belonged to a real-life alien from space.
In at number 8, we have a piece of moon.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you see that? My backup came in.
Because you just never know what type of
They're mad at me.
There was actually a lunar meteorite found in northern Africa not too long ago. And just a tiny piece of it
for them to steal.
$600,000. Imagine a piece of the moon just fell into your backyard, making you instantly a millionaire. There hasn't been a long-term exposure to the lunar environment, but apparently the exposure to lunar dust can actually result in severe health risks from direct exposure or exposure from over time.
Got it!
So saying
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Hopefully they're keeping it well contaminated. Alright, number 7. You guys saw it in the intro of this video. You saw a little clip of it. But let's talk about the 2017, which was not too long ago. Well, I'm talking about the discovery of the Uma, which was the first interstellar object ever detected in our solar system. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Probably not, but in Hawaiian, it actually translates to first-time visitor from far away. Of course, when this object was made public, millions of people questioned, is it aliens? Others asked, where did it come from, or what does this mean for us? Could this be an invasion on Earth? Well, scientists from Harvard University believe yes. This could actually be signs of alien civilization. When you hear about a bold claim like that, coming from Harvard scientists, it actually makes you wonder. When Auma traveled through our solar system, maybe this thing was powered by some sort of thruster. So it could be plausible that it was a spacecraft. Number 6, we have the satellites that fell to Earth. Have you guys heard the story of the Cosmos 954? Well,
see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all the way back there, and they're just making amazing shots, right?
1978, a Soviet satellite malfunctioned, which prevented a safe
Rudy Gobert!
nuclear reactor. So pieces of the Cosmos around northern Canada. Now, this is pretty messed up. Luckily, no one was killed by this. Just imagine if, like, North Korean satellite crashed on American soil. I mean, that might spark
Really?
World War III.
There's another thought, ladies and
that everyone
gentlemen.
has to follow when it comes to space. So, under the terms of the 1972 Space Liability Convention, whoever launched an object into outer space is liable for damages caused by that object. So saying that, the Canadian government billed the Soviet Union over $6 million for the cost of the cleanup and also for additional compensation for future unpredicted expenses. But the USSR paid just $3 million. From a failed USSR satellite to something that you would never expect coming from space, or should I say you wouldn't expect someone coming from space. An alien? Well, at number 5, let me introduce you guys to Fearless Felix, who is not an alien. He's just a crazy person. Is this real life right now? That is absolutely insane. Why? I've been skydiving, but I jumped from like 8 to 10,000 feet. Felix jumped from over 128,000 feet. This guy is absolutely nuts. I think this guy almost reached the moon. Okay, maybe not quite. This guy wasn't inside of Earth and when he jumped, but luckily for him, it was a huge success. Okay, let me take you guys over to Mongolia, in at number 4. It's this 2-ton object that crashed to the Earth near the Mongolian capital back in 2019. This object was added to the MUFON Witness database, which is actually the UFO Network database. I didn't know there was a UFO database. So people are actually believing this foreign object might be a UFO. The object looks like it has a rocket or a jet engine. It seems like the object came crashing down in a field of cows, and no one knows what it is. On Reddit, people believe that it might be a hydrogen tank, and a lot of people think that this picture might actually be fake, because one person pointed out, where is the crater that a heavy and large object would create? I mean, that is a pretty valid point. It's not time travel for a sec, in at number 3. Let me take you guys back like 80,000 years ago. I know it's a long time. And let's talk about the Huba meteorite that came crashing down on
Sorry, Rudy Gobert, you got no.
The thing weighs 60 tons, and it is
I wiggled the marble and wiggled my way around. Rudy Gobert, you got laid down. He couldn't get up to Mercedes in the air. He couldn't get down to Mercedes down there. My shots are
Moving into, let's talk about the meteorite that changed the history on Earth, like literally.
When you turn around and look back at me, know that I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna be up in the buckets going. You're gonna be looking all around. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's my boy in the back. He getting ready to rack. He's gonna be as good as his daddy on the game. There's no doubt about that.
If you guys don't believe this theory,
They mad at us.
dinosaurs, let me know in the comment section below. And be a
Coming from the ghetto, better believe it, I'm in the little.
Huge.
Give it out your little. Rudy Gobert, ladies and gentlemen, I'm up there.
Save the series for last. NASA actually predicts that in 2023 there's going to be an asteroid.
I just wanted to know if you were mad at us.
That can do some pretty serious damage. The asteroid is twice the size of Big Ben, and I looked up Big Ben, and Big Ben is massive. And then imagine Big Ben...
Rudy! Come on, Rudy! Don't be so mean to me, Rudy!
That can ruin the whole city. Imagine if that hit like a dense city...
Oh! Shut up, you shit!
That could wipe out everyone. My biggest question right now is how accurate is NASA? I'm hoping that they're not too accurate. But then again, if NASA wasn't accurate...
You know, man, I don't even do many, like, geopolitically movies because...
Over the course of decades, humans have begun
I don't know, man, I look for the opening and such.
Defunct projects, satellites, broken or discarded pieces of spacecrafts. It will become a serious problem at some point, and it's beginning to show. There have been many instances now of strange metallic balls crashing into the ground and being found in multiple countries. Mexico, Spain, Vietnam, Namibia, Australia, and many others. They hurtle towards the Earth, and some have crashed a little too close for comfort. Most of these mysterious objects seem to just be auxiliary fuel tanks from satellites that were discarded.
Whoa! Give me my bell, baby! It was just mad that I made it!
The one in Mexico still require more investigation, as they don't match any of the parts that we would have expected to be entering our atmosphere. This one even has an antenna, and reportedly fell from the sky while making strange noises, but was not accompanied by any fire, like a lot of debris entering the atmosphere would have. So where did these things come from then?
Moving into number 9, we have the Roswell UFO incidents that took place in 1947. Take a look at this. This came crashing down to Earth, and if you search this into Google, you can find these images as well. Clearly looks like an alien, and also you can see more UFO pictures. Can this really be a UFO crash site? Well, there are obviously many conspiracy theories around this crash, because the U.S. military stated that it is a United States Army Air Force balloon crash, while others say that this might be one huge cover-up, and it's actually an alien.
And I'll take my foul. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm talking about.
It might be an alien spacecraft.
Struck by a space rocket. Alright, we've got
Rudy Gobert looked like this.
You can either think of them
like he was stuck with deer in the headlights, bro.
Coincidence, but either way, these two women had a bad day. In 2001, Lottie Williams was exercising in a park in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when she looked up and saw a great ball of fire in the air. It was a rocket coming back towards Earth. She watched it approach, and as it got larger in the sky, she expressed her worry to her friends, but then it broke up into pieces and it was no longer visible to her. A few moments later, she felt what she described as a tap on her shoulder, and then something fell to the ground. This small blackened piece of metal had fallen from the rocket and just grazed her, and it could have been a lot worse, but she walked away being the first person to be hit by man-made space debris. But another woman was not as lucky. On November 30th, 1954, Ann Hodges was napping in her Alabama home when a piece of meteorite crashed through her roof and struck her in the side. It left a 3-foot wide hole in her roof and also left a massive bruise on her thigh and hand where she was hit. Luckily, the damages were only surface level, and though she went to the hospital the next night, it was because of her stress, not the injury. But if the space rock had been a few inches to the side, Ann would not have lived to tell the tale as the first person to be struck by a meteorite. I'm not sure if she's cursed with extremely bad luck or has really good luck. I'll leave that up to you. Number 7, Skylab. Launched by NASA as the first American space station, Skylab was cursed with issues from the moment it launched. The station strapped to a Saturn V rocket sustained severe damage during its deployment, including the loss of the station's micrometeoroid shield and one of its main solar panels, requiring it to have the first ever repair to an object in space, which is pretty cool. But it was again hit with problems when one of the pieces destabilized from orbit earlier than expected and crashed back to Earth. But it doesn't stop there. Due to increased solar activity, Skylab actually ended up falling towards Earth a year earlier than it was supposed to. There was supposed to be a shuttle mission to boost it back into orbit, but the shuttle wasn't ready in time. In an international media frenzy, the Skylab crash was everywhere. People had shirts with targets, contests were made to bring pieces of the wreckage for cash prizes, and people waited for the show. Due to a 4% calculation error on re-entry, the station did not burn up as quickly as expected, and pieces fell into Australia only 300 miles from Perth in an almost completely unpopulated area. Man, talk about a crash and burn. These scientists missed the mark so many times it's impressive the thing even hit Earth. Number 6, 300-million-year-old machine cart. In 2013, a Russian man named Dmitry was adding coal to a fire when he noticed something strange. A shiny piece of metal was sticking out of the rock.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I don't like playing the League and all the one. You see, they didn't even let me finish the game. They did a whole quarter without me. Like, I could have lost the game. If I was in the playoffs, I would have got busy bumped. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Not only
crazy.
that, but further examination shows machining marks, implying that it's a man-made piece, and it's similar to those that we may find in a modern microscope or other small machinery. But no one can explain how a seemingly man-made part appears in a piece of coal that was 300 million years old. So, was this thing a remnant of a past unknown civilization? Maybe something from a time traveler or alien? One explanation is that it could have fallen
it could be that guy Barbarian.
all that time ago,
I heard
but
he
it
had
wouldn't
the game
explain the
going
fact
on.
that it seems man-made. This little hunk of metal continues to baffle scientists today. Number 5. Nuclear nuisance. The Cosmos 954 reconnaissance satellite launched by the Soviet Union in 1977 had some major issues.
Oh, damn, Barbario, you did it again.
Unlike Skylab,
He's got to be on like a level of winning that nobody's ever
and this
seen
long-term
before.
orbital
I'm telling you, man,
satellite seemed like
going and
another
going
mission
and going.
success for the Soviet
Although they
space
did
program.
drop
It was meant
four
to be
straight
circling the globe for
about
years and years, but
a
just
week ago.
3 months later,
All four
the North
games, they
American
lost.
Aerospace
They got
Defense Command
destroyed.
noticed the satellite making erratic
The greatest
maneuvers,
despise
changing the
was the
altitude of its
Boston
orbit by
Wars,
up to
was
50
8 and
miles.
10.
And in secret meetings, the Soviet officials warned their U.S. counterparts
Starboy
that they had
Flow
lost
shot.
control
So
over the
did
vehicle,
Rudy
and the
Gobert.
system, which
Gobert
was
only
intended
had
to
like
propel
6
the
points.
spent nuclear
But
reactor
ladies and gentlemen,
core into
that's
a
a
safe
wrap up for
disposal
me to you,
orbit,
Barbario,
had
here
failed.
now.
And just 4 months after its launch, it fell towards the Earth, right over Canada's Northwest Territories. The Soviets claimed that it completely disintegrated upon re-entry, but that was not the case, as we discovered a 600-kilometer path of debris leading through the country. And a huge portion of it was radioactive because they failed to launch the reactor out. We Canadians began Operation Morning Light, a recovery effort that lasted over a year, and for which we billed the Soviet Union $6 million, though they only ever paid us $3 million. Many small pieces of debris were collected, as well as 12 large portions of the satellite, only 2 of which were not radioactive. Number 4. Proof of panspermia. The theory of panspermia is that life did not naturally begin on Earth, but that it began with microbes stuck in space ice that fell to Earth on meteorites, and the amount of debate around this topic is huge, and we have a few examples that may just prove the theory. The Polonnaruwa meteorite was one that fell in Sri Lanka in 2012, and meteorites are always a good find, but this one was different. 12 days after it was witnessed falling through the sky, a scientist published a paper stating that after studying some electron micrographs, his team discovered fossilized diatoms, microscopic phytoplankton, inside the meteorite. In addition, his team of scientists reported in a separate article that they are certain that it is a meteorite that originated from a comet that also contained living diatoms. The microbes were remarkably similar to those found on Earth, leading to a debate on whether it was simply contaminated from the Earth's surface. But there is another example with even stronger proof of microscopic alien life. In 2018, a meteorite landed on a frozen lake in Michigan, and when it was examined, thousands of organic compounds that were formed billions of years ago were found. It helped that the quick recovery, along with the cold temperature, kept the water inside frozen for studying. Research is still being done, but this find has thrown the scientific world for a loop. Hopefully the organisms don't leave us with some alien curse or disease. Number 3. The Chelyabinsk meteor. Many of us will remember the 2013 meteor that rocked the world. At 20 meters in diameter, it was the largest natural object to enter our atmosphere since the Tunguska event, which destroyed a wide, remote, forested, and very sparsely populated area of Serbia. The Chelyabinsk meteor also is the only meteor confirmed to have resulted in many injuries, though they were all from indirect causes. There are many videos of the event, and they are truly terrifying, especially when you learn that the meteor was completely undetected until it entered our atmosphere, which caused worldwide panic. The flash as it began to burn up was brighter than the sun, and when it exploded midair, the energy output was equivalent to the atomic weapon used on Hiroshima, sending out a massive shockwave that damaged buildings and was felt and heard for hundreds of miles. All of the 1,500 people injured were hurt while running or from broken glass or other indirect factors of the meteor. There was even another meteor which was detected to have a close approach on the same day, which was 10 meters larger and flew by us only 16 hours later. Man, February 15th, 2013 was a busy day for meteors. Number 2. Oumuamua. Discovered by the University of SARS-1 telescope in 2017, Oumuamua is the first known interstellar object to visit our solar system. It was originally classified as a comet, but there were no signs of cometary activity after we witnessed its slingshot at a blistering speed of 196,000 miles per hour.